Good morning, everybody. It is Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2020, Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And as always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is, October 27th. So October is done, almost done, family. How was your October? Here in Toronto, where I'm based, last week has been a little bit above, well, I don't know what normal is anymore. Just say the temperature's been nice. Let's just leave it at that. It's been nice. But it's going to start taking a dip tomorrow. We've had a few days of rain, but hey, it's been right. People still walking around in shorts and flip-flops, not wearing socks. I always found it interesting wearing the flip-flops, people wearing flip-flops and socks. When I was growing up, you wore flip-flops and there was no socks, but the trend is to wear with socks these days. Yeah, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, I want to say thank you for watching live on the replay. If you're watching live, please shout out, tell us where you're chiming in from. We'll give you a shout out. So Ryan, my co-host, will probably be with us, I'd say within the next half an hour. So for those Ryan fans, he'll be with us momentarily. So a few things before we get into the conversation, our new friend today. So as always, please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe show on YouTube, preferably by hitting the subscribe button and then hit notification. Notification tells people when upcoming conversations are happening. We got a bunch coming up over the next few days. I'll be getting to that in just a minute. As always, to advertise your business, product, or service, please email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And as always, too, keep the conversation going in between our Monday and Friday shows on Discord. So email me again, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Join the Discord group. Keep the conversation going in between shows. So as I had mentioned a few moments ago, a number of some live conversations coming up over the next few days. So let's give some roll call. So live tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, State of Things with Aisha, Jill, and Lala. I was going to say Lala. Aisha, Jill, and Lala. And these ladies are on the pulse of what's going on in the United States, especially socially and political-wise. And there's always a lot going on political-wise in the United States. And they give their takes. So just wanted to inform you of that. This Sunday, myself and Cesar and Nadima Musa were on Black Canada Talking. And basically, Black Canada Talking is a chance for Black Canadians to either highlight Black Canadians or we get them to give their point of view on not only things in their neighborhood, in their province, in their city, around the world. And Cesar is, I tell you, one of the smartest people that I know. And I had a chance to finally meet him after, how long have we known each other usually for? At least 3 or 4 years. We had a chance to spend an hour together on Monday. He was actually in town Sunday. Was it Saturday or Sunday and Monday, or Sunday and Monday? Ryan's organization that he's a part of, Afro-Caribbean Business Network, had a think tank meeting. So Cesar came in from Ottawa and on his way back home on Monday, and all along the 401 we met and had a good quick chat. So hell up Cesar Nadima Musa, one of the smartest people I know, period. And then coming up Monday on the Morning Vibe, David Archer will be back. Black psychotherapist that, wow, does he lay it down from a Black male psychotherapist lens. He is back. And for those who know about David on the Morning Vibes, he has that James Earl Jones voice. And I still have to reach out to him and say, hey, David, need to do some voice work. I need him to do some promo work for the Morning Vibe and the other Dr. Vibe platforms. So that is what's coming up over the next few days. And if you really want to go further along, a week from today, Wayne Harris will be back with Financial First Fridays. So as you can see, there's at least between now and next Friday, 4 epic conversations that I'm going to be hosting. So just want to see, got some people chiming in saying good morning. So let's see. Oh, good morning, Fitness IQ, otherwise known as KSEYL RWFQ. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're doing okay. Uh, I hope, yeah, we spoke yesterday. I hope you're feeling better. Let's put it that way. And good morning, Eunice Graham. Good morning. How are you? I don't think we've seen you in the room before. So thank you for taking time out of your positive, productive schedule to share with us. So that is it for intros. I don't think we got anything else going on. And actually, what's going on in everyone else's world out there? Hope you're keeping fine and safe. Oh, got another message. Oh, okay. She's breaking her fast, feeling better. Yes. So just to tell you, one of our popular regular friends who comes on is Carolyn Nicole of the Energy Shack Juice Bar, and Fitness IQ Cam did a. Is today the last day you're fast, or it was yesterday? Just checking, just checking, because she did the 3-day juice fast. That Carol, one of the many products and services that Carolyn from Energy Shack Juice Bar offers, and actually Ryan, I hope Ryan started it. He was supposed to pick up his stuff on Wednesday. Okay, so there she goes. She goes yesterday. So Fitness IQ, how are you feeling? Was it as tough as you told me it was going to? You were, because I know halfway through it, it was not easy. So that's all right. And thank you for asking. Absolutely. And it's ironic you mentioned that about juice fasting, because our new friend today definitely has an aspect of health that we don't get. We hear about it remotely, but we don't hear about it enough, and especially pertaining to Black men. So I hope that most people here who are watching live on the replay want Black men to be healthy. Hope so. Hope so. Well, if you don't know about prostate cancer, and especially when the amount of prostate cancer that impacts Black men, you're going to get a great education today. Actually, my father's a prostate cancer survivor, and he still periodically goes for treatment for it. Let me just say. So before we go, Fitness IQ says, yeah, the fast was something. Yes, it's definitely a commitment. So I hope you have fun breaking it. So getting back to our new friend, today we have Anthony Henry, president of the Walnut Foundation, who's going to be on the Morning Vibe. We are looking forward to hearing him share about prostate cancer, Black men, and the organization. So welcome to the digital stage, Mr. Anthony Henry. How are you this morning?
Good morning, sir, and feeling fine. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It's a pleasure having you on. What you been up to this one? It sounds like you're an early riser.
Yeah, well, it's something that's been instilled in me for many years, is to get up early and, you know, get cracking, so to speak.
Get cracking. Get
So I'm
cracking.
here.
Well, this is fantastic. So, like we love to do with first time friends on any of the Dr. Vibe show platforms and the Morning Vibe, can you give a little background about yourself before we get into the Walnut Foundation?
hmm Yeah. So my name is Anthony Henry, and I'm a prostate cancer survivor. I guess you could put it that way, or some people say thriver. Some might prefer that word. um, I have a strong family history of prostate cancer. My father died from it at a very young age, at 68.
Wow. My
And
condolences.
yeah, thank you. And, three other family members have been impacted since then. So I've been at this for a while, introduced to me through the family history perspective. When my dad passed, it was a real wake up call to encourage the rest of us to start screening for prostate cancer, which is something I'll maybe talk some more about later
Oh,
today.
you will. You will. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
Yeah. So I started screening at age 40, just so you know.
Wow.
I certainly encourage everyone to um, do the same, especially if you're Black or from a Caribbean or West African background.
Okay, fantastic. Just some comments here. And Fitness IQ Cam says, yes, I do want Black men to be healthy indeed. She also said her father impacted by prostate cancer. Yeah. She says, good morning, Anthony. Also says, my condolences.
Good morning. Thank you.
And Eunice is saying, you brought some members of your fan club. Says, this young man, I like this, young man has been doing a phenomenal job in promoting prostate cancer awareness. Let me ask
thank you.
A little bit more about yourself. Where did you grow up? Education, school?
I grew up in Jamaica, in the western part of Jamaica. So I'm from Hanover, a place called Dias, which is about six miles or so out of Lucy, the capital. I lived in Jamaica for the first 15 years of my life. I moved to Canada with my family at age 15. And I am now 62 years old. So, you know, a good perspective in terms of those formative years in Jamaica growing up, and then coming to a society like this one, with all its challenges, opportunities, nuances.
Okay, fantastic. Let's get back to talking about prostate cancer. Who was your father the first person that was close to you that you heard about impacted by this prostate cancer? Or was there any other members of the family that were impacted first?
I'm not aware of any family members prior. That's just not to say it never happened, because one of the issues with prostate cancer is there's a huge secrecy around this thing. And so many people don't talk about it. So my dad was my first intimate experience, in a family setting with prostate cancer.
I want to just deter for a minute. You talked about keeping a secret. There is an assumption, let me put it that way, about Black men not taking care of their health or not paying attention to their health. Myself, as I tell people, I go to the doctor every 3 months, which is like makes me an amoeba or something like that. Because they go, what? Like, I know some people haven't gone to the doctor in 30 years. I go every 3 months. Yeah. I think this is related to our conversation. What are your thoughts about Black men and those that love them not paying attention to Black men's health?
So, it's a mixed bag, really. And I say this because the assumption is that we're not interested and we don't take enough care. And that's in part true. When you look at somebody like yourself, for example, and my father, you were the stereotypical men, or he wasn't, right, who didn't take interest in his health. He always went religiously to the doctor, and yet his cancer was missed. And a part of the reason for that is this whole notion that everybody should be treated the same way, right? And so, he should have been started screening earlier, and he wasn't. And then the other piece of it is, probably the awareness to push for the screening wasn't there back then as it is today. So conversations like these can help to start change the trajectory so that the men who are interested, can be dealt with in a timely manner, right? The recommendation is that for the general population that we start screening at age 50. However, for somebody like myself with a family history, or if you're Black or from West Africa, in terms of you can trace your lineage to those places, then you want to start earlier, because we are 76% more likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer and 2.2 times as likely to die from prostate cancer. So the standard recommendation is that we start earlier if you fall into this group, right? And so for myself, learning from my dad's experience, I started screening at age 40.
It's interesting you say that you know especially your dad's health history.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people don't do that. And just another thing, and I've shared it periodically on the show before. My dad and I have the same doctor.
Okay.
So my doctor, and we both had the same doctor for over 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
So everything in my dad's medical history, our doctor,
Mm-hmm.
has a chart on. So if anything looks somewhat strange,
Mm-hmm.
he's on the offensive, not the defensive.
Mm-hmm. And that's awesome, but the way the medical system is today, it's hard to
Yes.
get, that kind of continuity that we used to get before.
Well, you got to fight for it.
And that's a real challenge. And that's the reason why we have to be more proactive, you know. People talk about, shared decision making in healthcare, right? The issue, though, is how do you have shared decision making if you don't know what to ask, right? So, you need to be up to speed. You need to attend talks like these, or talks that we put on, or go to some of the community health fairs that we host throughout the community, with various partners, so you can equip yourself, to, as you say, ask the right question.
You brought this up, and I want to toot your horn that I didn't know about it, but while we're having this conversation, you had a very successful event recently at Taibu Community Health Center.
Mm-hmm.
And a
Correct.
member of my constellation told me about it and said, hey, you need to get the Walnut Foundation on your. So share a little bit about that successful event, because I was told it was well attended.
Mm-hmm. So part of what we're trying to do is to be more proactive ourselves in terms of how we engage community. And so we, through collaboration with Princess Margaret Hospital and Taibu Community Health Center, we organize a PSA blood test screening. So that's the screening that's done for prostate cancer. It's a simple blood test where they check your blood for something and they're looking for something called a prostate specific antigen, the level of it in your blood. And so that could be an indicator depending on the level, but there's a problem. So we did a screening along those lines at Taibu Community Health Center on September 30th. The event was well attended. Over 100 men showed up for that screening, and about 90 were tested. Right. Right now, we're in the process of sending the results out to them and their doctors for follow-up. So we need to do more engagements like these. And so the plan is, we're in discussions with the partners and funders to look at how we can expand this program across the area. So we need to do more of these kinds of things, because, prostate cancer is a treatable disease if you catch it early enough before it escapes the prostate. And so the point of these screening, is to try to get at it before it's a problem.
Yeah. Why is this challenge more, and maybe you do or don't know the answer, why is it more prevalent in Black men other than non-Black men? Is there any research or any findings on why it is more prevalent with people that look like us?
The why, we're still engaged in research on us, because we've done some research collaborations with some of the teaching hospitals in the Greater Toronto area, looking at some of these kind of issues. one that I would point you to is one looking at genetics that's ongoing right now. And then there's another research project looking at our experiences in the healthcare system. So to your question about the why, we don't know the why yet.
Okay.
And so the research is ongoing with respect to that. Our approach at the Walnut Foundation is multifaceted. We acknowledge there's a problem. Yes, we're more likely to be impacted. But we also want to do things like screening, doing the education piece, because we feel like if men are more aware of their higher risk, then they'll take action. They'll start screening annually like they're supposed to do, beginning at age 40. And those prostate cancers that are problematic can be treated in the appropriate fashion.
Nice. Just want to reflect more about the event back on September 30th. Take us back to that day. Were you expecting that large of a turnout?
Frankly, it was a first effort, and we were thinking maybe we would get about 50.
And you're saying maybe 50. I like that.
Maybe we thought 50. Maybe 50, and we thought, but you know what? Let's make sure we have enough people to deal with the attendance, and so we had extra people, so that was good. The event, though, we actually did the screening on that day, but we also had massage, a barber, and food. So
it was an event. You made it an event.
It was an event.
Yeah.
We also showed our videos. So we created a series of videos, about 14 videos, with the help of Taibu Community Health Center and Princess Margaret Hospital. And those videos were being showed at the same time. So they're short video clips dealing with different issues, from like a doctor-patient interview. What's the perspective of the partner for somebody who's been impacted? Because prostate cancer is it touches the whole family, right? So the videos speak to a number of these topics. The partner's perspective, ending the silence, acting before it's too late, the role of support groups like the Walnut Foundation. Right. And I'd encourage your guests to go to our website and look for our videos, the submenu, and check them out on your own time.
Excellent. So for those watching live on the replay, I put up the contact information there. I'll put it up a few more times to our conversation today. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a short little break. And then when we come back, Anthony will start sharing with us, how did the Walnut Foundation start? How did the name Walnut come up, of all things? And just I have other conversation pieces. And also, if you're watching live, please make comments, chime in regards to asking Anthony questions about his journey, the organization, Black Men and Health, Black Men and Prostate Cancer. So you're watching the Morning Vibe live with Dr. Vibe. Hopefully Ryan's going to join us, but hey, I'm hand solo at the moment. So we'll be back in about 90 seconds. Thanks very much for watching. Keep it locked.
And that's what I feel like. You feel like you're the Harriet Tubman of the mind.
I am.
I feel like I'm I'm one of the Harriet Tubmans of intelligent Black people. Like, I want to liberate y'all from like being left behind and ignored and oblivion. Now, really, the rappers get all the attention. Seriously, does anybody else feel this way? Like ignorant Black people, they'll be all up, getting all the headlines on the Shade Room.
Overly sexualized Black folks.
Like the twerkers and the, just people that, don't always represent the best of us, the diversity, like people like Dr. Vibe. Like, everybody should know about people like Dr. Vibe. Dr. Really Vibe he's trying to do good work for Black people.
Dr. Vibe from Toronto. Good to see you, my brother. Dr. Vibe. Everybody follow Dr. Vibe. He has a great show. He's very good at what he does, and I have a lot of respect for him.
Okay, so let me hop into this. What's up, Dr. Vibe? How you doing? Everybody, if you see Dr. Vibe in the chat, everybody go follow the Dr. Vibe show.
Dr. Bob is a real smart brother and a good human being. I like the guy a lot, and he's very intelligent. And I think everyone should pay attention to what he's got going on. We got to shine the spotlight on the intelligent Black people out here that are really doing the good work. Don't just pay attention to the rappers and the celebrities. You know, a lot of these people are losers. Your true winners are your people in your community that are really having your back. You know, helping us to have stronger families and a stronger community. So Dr. Bob is in that category. So you might see the Dr. Bob show in this chat. If you see him, please go follow him. Okay. All right. So anyway.
Okay, we are back on the Morning Vibe with Anthony Henry, president of the Walnut Foundation, and having a great conversation, getting educated and inspired and enlightened, and a little bit of entertainment too on the Morning Vibe this morning. So, all right, Anthony, Walnut Foundation, how did it start? Give us some of the backstory.
Yep. So the organization was founded in 2007 by Dr. Winston Isaac. He was head of the School of Health Sciences Management at what was then Ryerson University. So when he was diagnosed, he felt like, hey, I work in the space. I know healthcare. And yet I felt like this fish out of water, so to speak. And so after he took care of his issues, he joined with Simon Samuels, another prostate cancer survivor, and together they started the group. So it was an attempt to, deal with the whole secrecy issue around prostate cancer. And yeah, so that was the impetus for it, really. I think you asked me as well about Walnut. Why that?
Yeah,
name?
how the name. Why that name? Why not the Coconut Foundation?
Yeah. So
Walnut.
with us, men, when we're in our 20s, our prostate is about the size of a walnut. Now,
okay.
as we get older, that walnut size gland gets bigger, and it can present problems for us because of where it's located. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So as it gets bigger, it can press against the urethra and prevent or slow your urine flow. All right. And it can even get so big to the point where you start having bleeding and things like that. Now, that's not necessarily indicative of cancer, right? But that's one of the challenges we face. So that gland gets to the size of a plum, and it could even get to the size of an orange. So you can imagine you have this thing that's inside of you that's growing, that's creating problems. So some of the challenges men face are not cancer related as it relates to their prostate. And that's why it's so important for us to be aware of this and to know about prostate health and do things that support prostate health.
Okay, and the media star Ryan Knight is with us after walking his wonderful children to school. And I think we're gonna there we go. What's going on, Ryan?
Hey, things are good. Always good to see you,
hear
Anthony.
us?
Welcome, Ryan. Good to see you, Ryan. Pleasure.
Yes,
always. Yes.
Good stuff. How are things, Ryan? Everything good?
Yeah, so as we're talking about men's health, I've started my detox. So I have my juice breakfast. So definitely want to steer the ship in the right direction.
Yes.
As I hit 40 last December. So
Okay.
Anthony, can you remind us, is it when I'm 50 I should be checking the prostate, or is it 40?
You should be starting at 40.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. If you're from our community, or if you have a family history, the recommendation is that you start earlier.
Earlier than
And
40.
we need to be aware of this, and we need also to educate our caregivers about this.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Because some of them might have the notion that they're being not looking at race. You know, that whole argument. We don't look at race, so we treat everybody the same way. That might be well and good, but if you're impacted differently by something, then you want it to be addressed earlier, as per the new protocols for dealing with this issue.
Good. So I'm just, and whether you're watching live or on the replay, I've purposely put up some stats here and I've left them on the screen. So 76% of Black men are more likely to get prostate cancer compared to non-Black men. Again, Black men 2.2 times more likely to die from it. And if detected late, the survival rate drops to 30% at 5 years. But if detected early, the 10-year survival rate is almost 100%. I'm going to leave that screen up for a bit so people don't make excuses. It's right there in front of your face. So if you're running from it, that's your thing. Be on the offensive.
Yeah.
Anthony, I want to ask.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead. No,
I was just going to say that with respect to the 100% survival, you know, when you look at the men in the Walnut Foundation, many of us have been impacted. And we are still here 10, 15, 20 years plus later. So,
right.
You know, the conversation should also be a conversation about hope. You know, because there's life after diagnosis.
Absolutely.
You know? And or conference tomorrow is on survivorship. And it's an attempt to deal with this issue, right? There is hope after a diagnosis. There are, you know, things that you could do to help you along the way after a diagnosis. Because one of the challenges with being treated for prostate cancer is that it can lead to varying degrees of incontinence or erectile dysfunction, right? And then, of course, you have the issue of things impacting your sexuality, your machismo, which ultimately impacts your relationships with your partners. Okay. So this conference is really geared to providing folks with the tools to deal with what happens to your body after treatment.
Let me ask, and you're a wonderful friend of the family because you segue nicely.
Thank you.
So I was going to chat about some other things, but you mentioned about the conference. I've just shared the link out to everybody on the platform. But talk about the conference that's happening tomorrow. I'm going to put the link up on the screen, but I've also sent it out to everyone who's watching on any platform right now. So talk about tomorrow's conference for us.
So the conference tomorrow will be dealing with sexual health after cancer. And we have two people speaking on that who are well qualified. Dr. Daniela Whitman, Clinical Associate Professor Emeritus at University of Michigan, and Dr. Daniel Matthew, Associate Professor, Faculty of Medicine at U of T. And he's also a collaborator with us on another program that we run for prostate cancer patients that's open to the general public. It's called the True North Peer Navigation Program. We also have Dr. Stacy Loeb, who'll be talking about diet. And I heard you guys chit-chatting a bit earlier about, you know, detox and that. Well, Dr. Stacy Loeb is an expert in the field. She's African-American, and she'll be bringing her pearls of wisdom to the discussions tomorrow. Then we also have Nelly Fagani, who's a pelvic health therapist, and she'll be talking about overcoming incontinence. So some of the exercises that you can do, you know, if you're treated. We also have Dr. Daniel Santamina, who will be talking about exercise and the role of exercise in, a healthy lifestyle. We also have some comments from our sponsor or core sponsor for this event, Movember. The guys with the beard. So they are sponsoring this conference for us. We've been working very closely with them over the years. And so, they've helped us to promote the videos, for example. And we're having, ongoing collaborations with them. So I hope you can make it out to the conference. It's online from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Excellent. And I was curious. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Dr. Beck.
You go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah. Well, Anthony, I'm not sure how much you touched on it earlier, so I apologize. But I didn't have a chance to meet Dr. Isaac in person, but we had exchanged emails. And it wasn't until actually attending his funeral, hearing about the vast impact that he's had in this space. Two questions. One, could you give us a bit more background on the work that Dr. Isaac was doing and why this is so important? But also, are you seeing many other persons of African and Caribbean heritage studying this area, or should there be more of us actually studying and being involved?
Dr. Isaac, he was the one that got me involved in this space. A very nurturing, encouraging, type of person. Excellent leader. So he basically set the table for us to continue this work. In terms of, getting the charitable status, making the connections with the researchers, the teaching hospitals, that whole process, so that when he passed, and he passed not because of prostate cancer, actually, but because of something else. But when he passed, it made it easier for us to pick up the pieces and to carry on. So this, it speaks to the importance of leadership, and sharing and nurturing and looking at succession planning and this type of issue. Because, the one thing about a diagnosis is that, it alerts you to the fact that you're not immortal. And so we definitely have to be thinking,
yes.
We definitely have to be thinking about who replaces us, how do we institutionalize some of these things? One of the things that we're trying to institutionalize is, like a lot of the men that we speak to, they say to us, well, can you refer me to a Black doctor, Black this?
Right.
In urology, that's a huge problem. I think we only have one person in the whole GTA who's Black, who practices in that field.
Wow.
So one of the things that we did from the funds we raised last year was to set up an endowment at U of T Medical School to help nurture and bring, more of us into the space. All right. So that's one. We're also looking at funding the TMU, the Toronto Metropolitan University, the former Ryerson, Dr. Isaac's alma mater. Right?
Yes.
So when they come to Brampton, they're looking to set up a medical school. So we're looking to do the same kind of thing with them, to start nurturing that next generation of medical professionals and give them some, insight into sort of what's happening in the community while they're in their training process.
It makes sense. Yes, yes.
So a few questions here now, and you mentioned about succession planning for your organization, because I believe every success needs a successor. Is your organization in the action mode about doing succession planning?
I'm glad you asked that, actually, Ed. We're going through a strategic plan right now. Part of the reason why I'm president is Ken Noel, who used to be president, has shifted over to the role of executive director, right? Just this summer, we hired 3 students, hoping to do the same thing. Because as you grow, the demands increase, you know. So, and we are involved and engaged on different fronts. So we're looking for people to help us with research, fundraising, this kind of outreach, to go to community health fairs and do presentations, to look at surveys when we're approached for comment, so we can put our spin or input into the output that comes out of some of these things. It's very important that we as a community engage with the system. So yeah, there are problems.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say they're not problems, but we also have to be at the table to help craft solutions.
So true.
And so that's where an organization like ours comes in. That's why it's important for a show like yours to help educate, inform, and encourage engagement.
Okay, want to build on that. You probably know, then Ryan and myself know, there are a number of Black men's organizations out there. Has your organization made any attempts to engage with them? And you can be honest if you have, what the result has been, because I know a number of these organizations, and I'm wondering if they have the foresight to realize that this is something that's important to them, because a lot of these Black men, a lot of these Black men that attend their events or attend their meetings are going to get to 40 plus.
Correct.
So I just wanting to know, have you engaged with any? Yeah, have any of you have you done any engagement, and what has been the response?
So at the first level of engagement would be the churches. So a lot of the churches have a Black men's ministry of some sort, and so we've been engaging with them. So we go out, do presentations for them. Some of them have actually walked with us in our walkathon. So that's one. There's Brothers Who Care. We've reached out to them. They're doing an event on the 4th of November.
Yeah,
we'll be participating in that.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. There's the Lion Circle. We've reached out to them as well. I think we have a presentation coming up with them shortly. And even back when Dr. Isaac was involved, they used to come out to some of our activities. So the idea is to engage men in different spaces, or men wherever they are. And they don't have to be in the GTA, by the way, guys.
Right.
So we'll go to Montreal, Nova Scotia. We'll go on Wagwan, out west, right? We'll talk to people in Trinidad. We've done screening in St. Kitts.
Nice.
Presentations with urologists from the Caribbean, because they're well versed. They're seeing different versions of it. So we're engaging with Black men in different spaces. Right. But as you know, it's a process, right?
Yep.
It's a process. And they have their own interests as well. But they've been very receptive. We're also reaching out to the union movement. So wherever the men are or can be, we're trying to reach out to them.
All right. It's interesting. We may need to, if you want to chat offline, there's at least 3 organizations off the top of my alleged head that I would suggest, at least 2 of them are in Toronto based, that I would suggest you may want to reach out to. And I think also another gentleman that I would maybe suggest to you, if you want his contact information, is a gentleman who comes on and you were in the green room when we started. Every first Friday of each month, we have Wayne Harris, who's a financial advisor. And he was the first person I knew directly that was impacted by prostate cancer more than 20 plus years ago. And I would maybe suggest maybe having, it's too late for this conference, but maybe having him come in and talk about things like having life insurance and things in place
I think he and I had a conversation before.
Yeah, I just make that suggestion. I make suggestions. It's up to people what they want to do. Just so catching up on some quick comments.
Yes.
Welcome, Tim Frey in the house. Hope you're good. Fitness IQ Cam says, talk to the girlfriends and wives. They will knock some sense into them.
All right.
So important. So important.
And she says
Yes.
respectfully, and that brings up a very good point. How, like, you do your reach out, but do men come how are Black men finding out about your organization?
You know, a lot of them are actually finding out through the women.
Aha.
Through their partners, their mothers, grandmothers, sisters, like that. The partners, folks, the partners play a key role in this effort. If we want to change that 76% more likely to be diagnosed, twice as likely to die, metrics, if you want to change that, we have to include the partners. And the partners have been with us every step of the way. Very often it's the partners or the family members that reach out to us to say, hey, this is going on. And I bet you at the conference tomorrow, there'll be a lot of women there taking
notes. Of course. Yeah. Yep.
So very important. The family and the partners in particular, it cannot be, overstated.
As old Fitness IQ kept says, see a day.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I'm just catching up. Sorry, I didn't get to this comment earlier, Ray. My apologies. Ray McMillan, our Monday sponsor, says, good morning, everyone. Insightful conversation. Apart from medical screening, or if it's missed, what are some of the physical symptomatic changes in our bodies we should take note of, or are there any?
One of the challenges with diagnosing prostate cancer is that the symptoms initially are not really that noticeable or unique. You might have a burning sensation in the urine, right? You might have issues with frequent urination, but it's not necessarily indicative that this is prostate cancer. All right. If you start seeing blood in the urine and, in the semen, that type of thing, then the disease is probably far gone, right? Which again brings up the importance of screening, right? I felt fine, and a lot of the men that I talked to, they didn't feel any particular change or way in their body, right? They only found out that they had prostate cancer because they were screening, or because of an accidental, maybe let's do this test. This number is high, let's do a retest. The retest came back. You know what? Your digital is clean, but your blood, your PSA numbers, the trend of it doesn't seem so right. Let's refer you to a urologist to do a biopsy. That is only after the biopsy that you can determine if you have prostate cancer. So if you're waiting around for the symptoms, it might be too late.
Right.
That's why these kind of conversations are so critical, right? The screening piece, the digital exam, because if from the digital exam, they'll be able to check the circumference of the prostate to see if there's any abnormalities there. If there is abnormalities like growth, rough edges, then they might do some further investigation. So the screening is critical.
Wow, this is very good information. It's maybe indirectly related. I know your organization doesn't focus on this, but what about the importance of Black men and colonoscopies?
Well, that's a different topic, but also important.
Yeah.
Right. And so the screening again is important. Now, one of the things with colonoscopy is it's covered by OHIP. Okay. For prostate cancer screening, the PSA test is not covered by OHIP.
How? Just want to ask, how much does it cost to get done?
Costs about $40 to get done. Right. Now, I should preface that comment about not being covered, because if you have a family history of prostate cancer like myself, then your PSA should be covered, because your doctor can simply check off the box on the requisition form, so you don't have to pay. So if your family history, or if you're Black from a high risk group like we are, many of us are from Caribbean or West Africa, then they'll check off the box so you get it done for free. Right? A part of our work with the Walnut Foundation is to do advocacy, to encourage the provincial government to fully fund the PSA tests, just like they do for colonoscopies and mammograms and all these other things. Why not us? I suspect though that because us men don't want to talk, don't make any noise, then we get ignored. Right? So if you want that to change, if we want that to change, then we have to do something about it.
Again, it leads back to what I said near the beginning of our conversation, being on the offensive, not the defensive.
Correct. So important to engage, to be aware, to strategize, to find allies in different spaces in the system, who are willing to work with us.
Want to shout out Dr. Tachi, host and producer of Mediascope, the livest online show about media, tech, and pop culture that's on 5 p.m. Wednesdays Eastern Time and 6 p.m. on Wednesdays on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, and other platforms. And the head chief of Indie Soup Media. And they are showing a lot of premieres on their platform this weekend. That means the live launch or the beta launch is getting closer. Eunice says, case in point, the JCA Women's Center had their annual health and wellness symposium, and Anthony was one of the presenters. Almost all the attendees were women.
Yeah. Yes, I remember that. That was last Saturday. Excellent conversations. And again, thank you guys for inviting us to speak.
Yeah. Wow. Ryan, any questions or comments? I have a million of them,
but
you're just taking it.
I was curious around what to expect. So as a man, we hear you on the show. We might see some of the ads that talk about screenings. What should we expect when we now go to our doctor and we start this conversation? Like, what's the questions that we should be asking? Or is it just as simple as walking in and saying, I would like a screening for prostate cancer? Walk us through what to expect.
Yeah. So you can go in and you can explain that, you've been attending some events like these and you're hearing about it, and have a conversation with them. You talk about, the higher incidences. You talk about the recommendation that we start screening earlier, and, get their input, have that conversation. Right. Some doctors don't think it's necessary, that it leads to,
and that's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, that it leads
might
to
not
treatment. Yep. We had a case recently where the doctor said to the young man, "You're 48, wait 2 more years," right? But the accepted recommendation is for us to start at 40. So why is he or she telling his patient that? All right. But again, you want to engage in these kind of conversations to get their perspective. One of the concerns with some of the doctors is that more screening leads to finding more problem, creates more anxiety, and so you have a situation where your men are overtreated. My take on that, though, would be to say, you don't make the decision yourself. Have the conversation with the patient. Let the patient make that decision. Right? We're talking about shared decision making, right? So why are you taking it up on yourself? My dad's doctor was one of those. Right? He didn't believe the PSA test. He thought the PSA test proved nothing.
Wow.
Okay. He didn't factor my dad's ethnicity into his thinking.
Wow.
Okay. And the result is somebody who was proactive, like I mentioned at the top, who went to the doctor, who followed whatever recommendations were made, his cancer wasn't caught until he was stage 4. Right. Can you imagine how devastating that was for our family? This is not a guy who wasn't getting checked, and yet this is what happened to him. So we need to be engaged with our own health.
So this brings up, and thank you for sharing some of the personal journey. This though brings up an age-old conversation piece: Blacks' lack of trust of the medical system.
Yeah. That is a part of the issue as well. And that's why some of us don't make the effort to get a family doctor. I know it's challenging. And if I say this, people will say, well, I don't have a doctor, can't find one, I've been trying. But, don't give up. Get yourself a family physician. Get yourselves checked. Okay. Engage with organizations like ours. If you have a problem paying the $40 as a Black man, you join the Walnut Foundation for $10 a year. We'll cover your PSA test for $40.
Bang. There you go.
Okay. I've gone out. We made the offer so often. We don't get anybody taking us up on it. A few. Right? So it kind of makes you wonder.
Exactly.
What's going on? We're seeing guys in their 50s never had a PSA test. Most of the guys that we engage with are guys who are further along in their journey.
Yep.
Right? One of the things that was encouraging about the screening, though, was that we had a number of younger Black men who showed up for that screening at Taibu.
That's what I heard.
Right? And what it says is that men, especially the younger ones, are beginning to get a little bit more engaged. Right? We want to encourage more engagement. We want our men to be more proactive about their health. Right? Because if you can catch this thing early enough, you stand a fighting chance.
Well, one of the things I say on a regular basis these days is your health is your wealth, right? So if you take care of your health, you have more opportunity to get wealth. If you don't take care of your health, you're going to have to pay out of your wealth to continue your health.
Yep.
And I was curious I was joking with my dad saying, because he got gout in his foot. And I was saying to him, listen, you have to stop getting sick because anything that happens to you is going to happen to me. So talking about that kind of health patterns of
no guilt trip on dad there. No guilt trip.
Like when we talk about our genes, right? I'm watching him. I'm watching him to see like what's happening to him because hey, 30 years from now it's gonna hit me.
Yeah.
So that conversation with our parents and finding out like our family health history.
Ryan, I'm glad you brought that up. When I was diagnosed, somebody said to me, Anthony, yes, you have a strong family history, but your dad's cancer is not your cancer.
Okay.
And this kind of evolved this way for me personally. Now, he was caught stage 4, and he passed. With myself, because I was screening, my cancer was caught at age 53.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in my case, my cancer, the way it manifests itself is I'm in one of those, what they call a low risk, pool. Mm-hmm. So my Gleason score was only a 6. My digital exam was clean. And so because my PSA was not inordinately high, I was recommended to go on a path of no treatment. So I'm on active, what we call active surveillance. And I've been doing that now for 8 years.
Gotcha.
Right? Now, for some of us, the cancer stays the same. It never goes anywhere. You actually die from something else, like Dr. Isaac. Mm-hmm. Or for some of us, we might have to progress the treatment later on. The thinking is that if you don't have to deal with the side effects of treatment and your cancer is indolent, then leave it alone. Right? And so for me, mine has been left alone. Now, things could change at any point where I have to progress the treatment. And I'm fully prepared to do that. Right? But the point is that, your father's history doesn't have to be your history, and hopefully some of the things that Dr. Loeb will talk about tomorrow with respect to diet, and some of the things that Dr. Santamina will talk about with respect to exercise might help folks, along those lines, some of the diet stuff, the research is ongoing, right? But, the indications from everything that they're seeing is that some of these strategies are very important in terms of how you deal with disease, how you experience disease onset, right? And these are important things to know, right? And so what we're trying to do tomorrow is to bring information to folks that's credible, that's well researched, that you can actually hang your hats on, right? These are not fables or myths that we'll be talking about tomorrow. So we're trying to be as real as possible.
You are doing it. Don't say this try thing. You're doing it.
Right. I know. I've been doing it. Yes.
Yeah, you've been doing it for
Let me correct.
time.
We want to keep it as real as possible.
Anthony, I know we went a little bit past the top hour. There's a few questions. Do you have a few moments to answer some questions from the audience? Okay, thank you so much. So a few things here. Opal Inspired says, good morning, great conversation. Are there any preventative measures known?
Mm-hmm. So I think I kind of addressed that in my previous comments.
Okay, so if you watch the replay, we covered that a little bit earlier. Fitness IQ Cam goes, isn't gout, aka rich man's curse, LOL.
I don't know. I've never heard that, so possibly yes.
All right. Eunice has a question. Are there any plans to roll out PSA screening in communities across the Greater Toronto area?
Yes, for sure. I mean, we were really encouraged by that first one, and we're engaged right now with partners looking to bring, the clinic to different locations throughout the GTA.
Okay. Where would this organization be without your partners?
I tell you, the partners have been just awesome. My spouse, my sisters. I mean, the core of the Walnut Foundation is really the men who've been impacted by prostate cancer and their families, right? And for most of our existence, that has been what has sustained us, because we don't have core funding, for example, right? So our partners or families have been the core. We're just now branching out. Last year we've made outreach to like the JCA by having Roy Williams be involved as a keynote, as a the face of our walkathon for last year. This year we brought in Ivan Don from the IUPAT, the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades. And so we're doing a lot of outreach now, ramping up our connections with our different partners in the healthcare space, to try to bring more, consistency to the work that we're doing.
Okay. Question here from Ray. We know Oriental doctors are familiar with sickle cell. Are there doctors from other ethnicities that are made aptly familiar with the impact of prostate cancer on Black men than others?
Not sure about ethnicity per se, but there are allies that we deal with in the various, teaching hospitals at Sunnybrook, Princess Margaret, for example, Women's College Hospital, that we engage with, who are, very knowledgeable, understand the issues, understand the perspectives and interests of the Black community, and they're always willing and ready to come and speak to our group. So we really appreciate, the support we've gotten from all these folks.
Excellent.
In fact,
Right.
with a lot of our research projects, we're partnering with medical doctors who are interested in this issue.
Good stuff. And also want to shout out all the corporate partners that you have, not only the family and friends partners, but you go on their website, they have a number of relationships with a lot of organizations, not for profit, and also, corporate partners. And I'm speaking, that's only going to grow because this needs to be addressed. Ryan, do you have any final comments for Anthony? Because I know he's always got a lot of things to do.
Right. And it's more just looking forward to the conference tomorrow. And again, hoping that we can help spread the word for long-term engagement with what you do. And like you said, getting more of the young men to engage as well, because that turnover is going to happen. And so we want to make sure that we're ready, especially when Dr. Vibe was talking about succession planning.
For sure. I really appreciate coming on the show, talking to both of you, and having you be involved in the conversation around prostate cancer. We are all in this together.
Absolutely.
And, in a real sense.
Very real sense.
And so it's important that we engage like this and we normalize, the screening, the digital exam, doing the biopsies, ending the silence. It's so important,
Okay.
But thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. Ray says, thanks for your answer. The clarity is important. Eunice says, great conversation. So it's been a really good conversation today. There's the link for tomorrow's conference. I'm going to jump in for a little bit and enjoy it, get some education, because some people are saying, Dr. Vibe, you have influence. I go, do I? I'm just a brown piece of mud that has a shiny head. I don't know what else I do, but and website
Don't
information.
downplay your importance, my friend. I think
I know I
Exactly.
got value. I know I got value. I know I got value. Here's the website information for not the Walnut, for not myself. That's later. The Walnut Foundation. There's a website, thewalnutfoundation.com. Email address info at the Walnut Foundation. Instagram at the Walnut Foundation. Facebook the Walnut. So just Google or whatever search engine. Just put in the Walnut Foundation. That'll take you where you need to be. All right. So as always, we would like to say to all our friends that come on, remember to give yourself grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. And Anthony, let's stay more in contact, please, if you have the time.
For sure. Anytime.
All right.
Happy to
Remember
come
to give
back
yourselves grace. Have a great day and best wishes for tomorrow's epic event.
Thank you. Appreciate the plug.
No
Yes,
problem.
yes.
All right. We are back, Mr. Knight.
Excellent.
So thanks for
You.
thanks for being able to jump in today, man. I was wondering, did the walk get the best of you? Were enjoying too much of the warm weather?
Right, the wet weather, but
Is it? Oh yes,
it's
but
actually still close to mid-teens, 20s. It's not bad out there, so I'll take it. And I think it's only a couple more
Absolutely.
days that it's lasting.
yeah, it's gonna start.
Yes.
So Eunice, I love. Thank you for the encouragement, Eunice. That shiny head has lots of
Exactly.
value. LOL. Receive that. So what's up for the weekend, Ryan?
Yeah, multiple things. I'm gonna tune into the Walnut Foundation conference, and then in the evening there's the Help a Girl Out gala that Yannick was talking about on our Monday show, and find some time in the middle for family time. The kiddos want to go to the movies, so it'll be a packed Saturday, and Sunday a bit more chill. How about yourself?
So a few things. This has been like Black Health Week. So at the beginning of the week, we talked about young Black girls, and we ended off with Black men at the end. So a few things. I actually had a conversation with Yannick, and there is 3 people from my constellation that want to speak with her. One of them actually was one of the industry panelists during the brand sponsorship event.
Okay, solid.
And so she'd love to provide suggestions and anything she can do to help amplify what Yannick is doing. So that's been great. It was really good. But yeah, this is a great conversation today. So yeah, this weekend for me, well, I got enough conversations to do coming up. So just catch up on things. So live tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time on Dr. Vibe platform, State of Things with Aisha, Jill, and Lala. Sunday, Black Canada Talking with myself and Cesar, Nadima Musa. You met Cesar on Sunday, correct?
Yes, that was excellent. And again, tell him my thanks. I'll be tuning into the show just to hear the comments. But yeah, it was great getting to meet him and hear his insights as we talked about the Canadian Black think tank conversations. It was excellent.
Yeah, I actually had a chance to meet him on his way home. So we got together and finally had a chance. I hadn't met him in 3.5, 4 years. So then on
gotcha.
And then Monday, David Archer is back.
I'm looking forward to this conversation. Or actually, 50-50.
So for people who are still on or watching live on the replay before Monday, we're going to do a live scenario of David and Ryan being a patient. So you got to check this out, family. It's going to be really interesting. So Ryan's going to be in the chair or on the couch, so to speak.
Right.
So it's going to be somewhat a scenario of going through what David, somewhat what David would go through with seeing a new client from a Black psychotherapist perspective. So that is going to be interesting. And a week from today, we've got Wayne Harris on. I didn't want to put it on. That's too far out, but Wayne Harris will be back. All right. As always, we want to thank everybody. You can watch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show. YouTube and Facebook. ACBN, Facebook and YouTube, Ryan's YouTube and LinkedIn. Ryan, how's your detox going?
I'm sitting here, bathroom's calling me, but so far it's been going good. I just moved my office closer to the washroom because the flushing, the flushing is happening.
Drink lots of water.
Yeah,
Drink
but
lots.
it's good,
Drink lots of.
But one thing, the smell of food is so amazing when you're not eating food. Oh my goodness. And then I'm making bacon for breakfast this morning for the kids. And I'm just like, what type of torture am I doing to myself right now? I should have made them juice at the same time. No, but it's going okay. We're second day, so let's keep pushing.
Well, I'm on my second day too. This is the second time around for me. And for me, eating is a mental thing, so I haven't even thought about what I'm going to put myself to real punishment. I'm going to be making veggie burgers and chia pudding today, so I can't eat it till Sunday, but I'm making it now, so I have to. But that tells you how hardcore I am making stuff while I'm on a fast. So Dr. Tachi, okay, so Fitness goes LMAO. Yes. Dr. Tachi is laughing. Don't be hard on Ryan now. And then Fitness IQ says, Ryan, you don't even know. And then that's what makes you grow for the
yes,
kid.
That's what I should have. I did not thinking.
There you go. So everyone, by Monday, Ryan will be finished his first 3-day detox. I'll be through my second 3-day detox. So you know what? Oh, this is Fitness IQ going, make me porridge, Dr. Vibe. Yes, I have my quinoa porridge I'm going to be making. So I'm doing a whole bunch of food prep while I'm detoxing. Go figure, right? I can't eat it till Sunday, but that's the thing. And so, Ryan, I hope you continue it on. And you know what? Bulk Barn may become your best friend.
Okay. Yes. Definitely going to stock up on some ingredients.
Yes. And if you need any suggestions, holla, as Fitness IQ, I should prep too. Absolutely. So no problem. If either of you have questions or people want to reach out to me, I can provide some of the recipes. I'm going to provide all of them. I have to still put up them in the Morning Vibe. I'm going to put one up in the Morning Vibe Discord page, either maybe for the porridge or even making lemon vinaigrette dressing. So easy. Lemon juice, olive oil, salt, blend it. There's your dressing.
Nice.
Simple. So we're going to see y'all on Monday. Again, if you're around over the weekend with me, 9 p.m. tomorrow night with Isha, Jill, and Lala. And then Sunday afternoon, myself and Cesar. Monday morning, the James Earl Jones of Canada will be back. All right. So live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller, get stronger. Block assumptions and aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Bye.
Here we go. Here we go.